You're on the segment View from the Top. My name is Richard Kagoe, and now joining me is the Group Chief Executive Officer and Director of Techno Group. That's Manoj Shanker. Manoj, nice to see you.
Nice to meet you, Richard.
And welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Just take us back and help us understand, the establishment of this software development company.
Sure. Techno Limited is a 15-year-old company. It's an African company. We started from Tanzania, Dar es Salaam, and today we operate in 13 countries. Outside Africa, we have offices in India and in the US. In terms of what we do and how many people we have three main business units. We have IT training and education, business process outsourcing solutions, and the main business function unit what we have is IT solutions. So we provide IT solutions for private sector, public sector, non-profit. We are 900 people across the globe, but mainly in Africa, more than 700 people in Africa.
What was it like starting up?
Well, it was a great experience because we started from scratch, and to build a high-tech software company, it's been always challenging, but I think I can say with a lot of pride that we have reached to a position where we can say that we are becoming a sort of a global company from Africa.
Were you involved during the formative stages?
Yes, I have been involved right from the day one with the setup of the company to bring it where we are today.
Just describe to me the evolution of the company over the last 15 years.
Yeah, my chairman, he had a vision that we should build a company which will help people to get trained on IT as sector which is needed for automation. And to do the automation, first you need to train people, you need to get them skilled, then only you can bring all this sophisticated software. So we started with a vision of becoming a leaders in IT training and education, and that's how we began. We began from Dar es Salaam, we went to Nairobi, Kampala, and then all the other countries surrounded in East, Central, and Southern Africa. And today we train more than 10,000 individuals from various sectors every year.
So how strategic was Kenya to your expansion?
Kenya is the heart of our business because number one is that Kenya is in the center, it's in a very strategic position. Number two, Kenya provides the best IT skills in all the countries where we operate. And Kenya has got talents, it's got intellectual capabilities, and relatively very good IT industry.
I mean, just describe to us, what is it like doing business in Kenya?
Well, you have advantages as well as disadvantages. I think in terms of infrastructure, there has always been a challenge here. But also in terms of the advantage, as I mentioned, that we have great talents here. Kenya also produces a lot of graduates, which are the basic source for a company like Techno. So we recruit a lot of graduates, train them, certify them, mentor them, and then you get the final product. It takes a while, yeah, but I think there are a lot of talent here, and it's already proven in the way we run the business. Today we have not only Kenyans, of course, but we have many Africans who are in a very similar positions running the company.
Just help understand that, because really developing talent is a very expensive affair. Just help us understand the kind of investment that you have put towards this.
Yeah, that's a great question. Finding a talent is difficult, but there is a talent in Africa, and we have few programs running in the company that helps us to build these talents. And for example, we are got a campus recruitment program, which we are doing it in 7 countries in Africa, where we pick up the brightest of these graduates, and we take them through a 2-year mentorship program that includes induction, training, certifications. Then we assign them on-site projects, and throughout this journey we have a mentor who looks after the person. So at the end of the 2 years we have well-trained, highly skilled and experienced young graduate who is ready to go.
Because there's one question that I would like to pose to you. The issue about perception. You are an indigenous company, offering the kind of services that you are. Traditionally, this had been associated with multinationals. Has that ever been a challenge in terms of shedding, that kind of perception and giving confidence?
Yeah, initially we had this issue of perception that African companies means they can only do the lower end of the whole triangle of IT services. And it took a while, but as I mentioned that today, for example, if you want to provide solutions to Africa, you need African solutions. That's what I strongly believe, that if we have African solutions to African problem, which is more sustainable, more cost effective, yeah, and I think it also helps in that whole process that you start building IT skills in wherever you go.
You're talking about skill sets, and I'm just trying to imagine, because Africa has now been talked about as the last frontier. We've seen renewed interest towards Africa in terms of investments. On another front, we're seeing a lot of discovery of natural resources. In Kenya, we just heard about the discovery of oil in the northern frontier there. There's talk about coal in parts of the country, natural gas in neighboring Tanzania, and that particular belt all the way going to Mozambique. How are you really positioning yourself to tap into these opportunities that are emerging?
Oh yeah, absolutely. These are some great development that's happening in East Africa. It means that more investments coming here, more industries getting formed, more people coming to the region, and that means there's going to be a huge need for technology, and that's where we come into the picture, providing software solutions, IT training, hardware solutions. So these are the kind of industry they have to be successful here, and so we see this as a great opportunity.
So certainly exciting times, are they?
Very exciting time.
East Africa integration, is this an opportunity or a threat?
If you ask me, for a company like Techno, East African, even a SADC integration as one whole, just like EU, it will be a great opportunity where we will thrive in such an environment where there will be free movement of the labors, common travel visa arrangements, so that it can become a big increase in the whole business activities in the region.
Are you planning to scale up your investments in the areas where you operate in?
Well, we are already there in all these countries which I talked about. As I mentioned, we are in Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda, Mozambique, Zambia, Malawi, Ethiopia, Rwanda. So we are already there in these countries. And it will be great for us if the borders gets opened, the visa norms are eased. As I mentioned, it will be a great opportunity for us.
So how do you differentiate yourself from other players in this particular industry? You're also competing for the same clients for the services that you offer.
I think the great differentiators what we bring to the table is that most of the companies are very active in providing infrastructure, mainly the hardware services. And there are very few, there are a handful who are doing the content development, building intellectual property from Africa. And that's where we see as an opportunity, and that's where we have been extremely successful. We have, for example, 5 products that has been designed, developed in Africa. Okay? And these are low cost compared to the multinationals organizations. And these, for example, every project which we get in Africa, it allows us to employ more people. So I feel the whole model, as I mentioned, African solution to African problems, is so successful from the business point of view as well.
What would you consider to be other milestones in the last 15 years?
Well, there has been several milestones. For the last 3 years, we have been the Microsoft Country Partner of the Year, which has been a huge achievement for Technobrain. There are more than 700,000 partners for Microsoft globally, and you get picked up among all of them. It has been a remarkable success. In Tanzania, we have been rated as the #1 IT training company by KPMG, mid-sized companies. Yeah. We have, I think, we have many such recognitions.
Tell us about the Research and Development Center, which you're currently developing along Mombasa Road.
Oh yeah, I think that's a project which I'm personally very passionate about. the research and development in Africa is not really done regularly by most of the companies. And we thought in terms of developing and designing intellectual property, we wanted to look for a place in Africa where there is a talent, and we obviously narrowed down in Kenya.
So in particular, what will you be doing? What will you be offering from this center?
You see, as I mentioned, there are so many areas, both for the private industry and the public sector, the non-profit. They need a lot of IT solutions today. Okay? And it's good to figure out what kind of IT solutions they need and provide these products and services locally here. So to enable that, we need to have people who can do an R&D and find out these software products, services, etc.
I'm just trying to imagine lots of young people who are watching this particular interview, and they're asking themselves, they're very passionate, they've had even probably the opportunity to get some basic training in matters relating to ICT and maybe with a bias in software development. What would be your word for them? Because when you're looking at issues regarding exposure, very limited opportunities.
But I think what I would recommend them is that learning is a great process. So if they put all their energy initially, during the initial part of their career, in acquiring skills, getting certifications, doing assignments, wherever they can get an opportunity, they should really latch on to. Okay? And they should not really look too focused on the commercial side of it, which is, we all need that. But once you build your skills, then I think you have a great life ahead in terms of the opportunity that's available.
Industrial placements, do you also create such provisions in your organization?
Yeah, we do that. We have a big training arm. As I mentioned, we train 10,000 individuals every year, and many of them are students. Okay, and we also help them to place them in the industries who need IT skills. So we do a lot of certification programs, and most of these industries need certified professionals. So after the certification, we have a student empowerment training department which only does placement of these students across various industries.
Any collaborations with Kenya's ICT board?
Yeah, we have been recognized by the Kenya ICT board, and in fact that reminds me that we are doing a project in Kenya National Hospital where what we have done is that we are doing their document management. Kenya National Hospital has got something like 40 million records, and they have a huge task of changing these documents from the old files to a digital record. And we have been engaged by Kenya National Hospital in partnership with Rockefeller Foundation, where we picked up some young Kenyans, the girls and boys from slums, and we took them and we gave them a training for 6 months, and then we put them in this job where they are actually converting this manual files into an electronic document. So this has been a great project for us because it's not only from the business point of view, but from the point of view of you picking up somebody who has no exposure, no skills, and then been trained and given an opportunity, a job.
So what's your role as the group CEO and director in the organization?
Well, like any other CEO, you're responsible for the overall direction, strategic management of the companies. You're responsible for making sure that you look after the staff, your customer. We give a lot of focus to customer care. Being a service-driven company, we can be only successful if our clients are happy. So I'm being the CEO of the company. I give my lot of energy to make sure that we have very good, high-quality delivery organization within the company.
And just listening to you talking about the way that you envisage the growth of this company, question is, how do you go about the issue of financing?
Yeah, financing has been sometimes been very challenging. We do work with a few financial institutions to get certain facilities, and remarkably, as you mentioned, Africa is getting a lot of attention. There's the oil and gas. There is so many other resources that is available here, which is attracting today even the international banks. So by large, it's never been an issue for us. We have been we have a track record of a good financial performance, which helps us to have more financial instruments.
Because this is such a great successful brand, and just looking at the way that you'll be rolling out to different parts of Africa, maybe an investor is looking around and they're thinking, any opportunities of this maybe becoming a public listed company at some point?
Yes, maybe. We do think about this. I think we are right now into expansion and consolidations as we move on. But definitely in the near future, we do have plan to get listed and become more public.
What sort of a legacy would you want to leave behind, Manoj?
Well, honestly, I never thought about it. But if you ask me what will give me more satisfaction is to build more and more capacity within Africa. And it will be good to know that there can be a global company from Africa. So if you ask me, that's the legacy I would like to leave.
Is that something that really keeps you awake at night?
Oh yes, I'm always pumped up.
You sound like you're a hands-on person from the way you talk about this organization. Do you have some down moments, some downtime?
Well, there are, of course, there are moments which are frustrating, which are disappointing. And you're right, well, I'm pretty hands-on person. The reason for that also is because I've been involved right from the scratch of building this company. So when you are building a company, you need to do everything that's possible, right? So that has given me exposure in all the aspects of our business, right from the bottom to the top.
Do you have some spare moments? Maybe you can do something else like a hobby?
Oh yeah, I have developed in recent hobby for the photography. I love Africa. There's so much of nature here, and I do spend my spare time doing photography.
Do you have a family?
Yes, I have a family. Yeah.
Very supportive towards this, because I mean you travel a lot, so much in your hands and in your shoulders. So that means a bulk of your time invests in the office.
Oh yeah, I think I'm very fortunate to have a very supportive family, and it's also important to spend time with the family. So whenever I get an occasion to spend quality time with my family, I do that.
So for how long do you plan to do this, Manoj?
As long as it takes.
Okay.
I'll continue.
Thank you, Manoj.
Thank you very much,
Nice talking
Richard.
to you, and all the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Just been talking to Manoj Shanker. He is the Group Chief Executive Officer and Director at Techno Group. Well, of course, he's just outlined to us about their journey 15 years back and where they are right now. But when he thinks about the future, he's very optimistic and he's very bullish when he thinks about the continent. Well, thank you very much for joining us in this edition of Pacesetters. And as always we say, Pacesetters work harder than the average person. Stay on the channel.